Now we're on the part that I was talking about. Remember when I scribed that line? Now the thing to remember is there's a rolled radius here in the seat. I get a lot of arguments. Today I had a comment from a gentleman saying that the stuff that he had read, that they do 85% of the diameter and only to pour it up to here, not to chew into it. Well, without going into too far of a discussion, because I want to show about this, I do not believe in that method. I have tried dyno results and I have seen that that's incorrect. But what I was telling you about is being able to take your finger and roll over it and then seeing the difference in the bowl being big. It's already like this, and I haven't done any port work. All I've done was lightly skimmed the surface to get the flash out. So in order to do this, what you have to do is I switch to this cutter. Let me give you a close-up shot. This is about a, I don't know, 3/8 egg. And what I'm going to do is very carefully, I'm going to lower in and chew some of the radius out so that I will dig where the aluminum will be taller going in than the iron. Now, this is very dangerous area, boys and girls, because you go digging on this seat too much and the seat will lose its ability of crush to stay in the head. So all I'm doing is taking enough of it out so that when I go in here and do the blows, you won't be able to take the finger and feel a big chunk of iron and then go into the bowl, because that is wrong. While you do want radiuses, it is a proven fact that valve angles do a better job of bringing air in and out than having a radius piece. So I'm going to show you how I go in there and knock that edge out, and just, you might ought to practice on this one, because if you get these seats too thin, it'll drop right out of the head. Not be able to see it, but I can perfectly see the scribe line. Here we go. Notice the angle that I'm going to try to dig on it. Okay, and I'm just doing these swoops. Now I'm going to lay back and let it roll right in. See, I did most of the digging like this, but now watch what I do. I turn the cutter speed down. All right. Now, what I've got going on is when I take my finger and roll in the seat, the aluminum stands up. So what I will do is switch cutters when I'm done and take my aluminum cutter and lightly blend that and pull it right in to right where the seat is. Now, one indicator that you've got this going on correctly is that there's a line, and let me get on this side and show the line. And I think you can see it. You see that dark line right there? It's a little shape from right here to right there. Okay? That line disappears digging at this angle, so that that right there is the separation line from where the seat touches the aluminum. So you barely blend. There's a little bit of that line left, and that is kind of a marker, if you will, that's telling me that I got it where I need to be. There's still plenty of seat area. I would not grind too much seat away. I'm just trying to get at that radius where the aluminum material is up higher than what the iron is so that it's blended to it. If ever you get a set of aluminum heads done, you stick your finger in there and you feel big here or big in the bowl and it comes and tightens up, you know that you got a mess. One of my former friends and a customer, well, I don't really need to label him a customer, we've known each other 27 years, his name's Tommy. He had a set of heads that he tried to do on his own, and he absolutely destroyed them. Them things ain't worth the aluminum except for maybe the Alcoa. He went in there, ported the bowls, got them real big, then when it come up, it necked back down and bottlenecked it, and we'll go into how that affected velocity and wet flow, but he just destroyed them. And you can tell most of the shops that do this kind of work is really bad, but I'll show you with a snap gauge how effective it is. But anyway, that's what I wanted to show you. I will show you in a couple of intakes, but let's go ahead and get this job done. I just wanted to give you a shot on the intake side deal. Once again, I'm using the belly of the beast to go in here. I'm trying to figure out a way to relate this to you. It's this area right here in the center that's doing the grinding, and as you're pointing, you're bringing it in a downward motion, coming in and hitting it. The line, I know you can't see it, but the line that I scribed with it is laying about probably 40 or 50 thousandths past the bottom of the gray line. And once again, the whole purpose of this is to grind the seat just a touch to take that fillet out, so that, God, I probably said this, y'all are probably bored to death. I just want to emphasize so much that when you run your finger over here, the aluminum is the part that's protruding, not reverse like it is from the factory with the seat being up and then that. I'm going to try to explain that more in another video that I'm doing. But for right now, let's just go over it. Let me show you exactly what I'm referring to. You can hear the metal clinking. I'm not hardly touching. Look at my grinder. You can barely see the little pickup at the very top point of aluminum, but in that area there, I'm just touching the iron. One of the ways when I first started doing this, had a deja vu moment here, was I used to count the strokes back and forth with a certain applied pressure. Remember, these are my two fingers that's pushing the gun and applying pressure. So I'd count the swoops that I made. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, then 1, 2, 3, 4, trying to keep a balance. So it requires a lot of concentration on your part. Keep it up with the pad. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Then a swoop to pull them all in from dot to dot. Then a light touch. Then when you take and feel, you don't feel nothing out of balance. Anyway, let me go ahead and show you the rest. Alright, I just want to go over that one little part of the intake. Now, run your finger across, the aluminum is up higher than what the iron is, and of course you see right there the gray line, which is the valve seat, and then you got about a 50 thousandths chunk of the 60 or 70 degree angle blending into it. Alright, that's all for right now. We'll continue when I get them all done. I'll let y'all have a shot. I was going to show you from beginning. We've already went through this, but something I thought about while I was doing it. Now as I'm digging on the edges and pulling where you can see the aluminum make the transition and feel, it's leaving a ridge on the part end of the burr, and you can see it, the coloration where the blue Dicom was on there where I done the seats. This kind of gives you an indicator as you're feeling. When I go in there to do the bowls and I pull it in, I'm not going to get nowhere near this aluminum seat. But watch this as I go. See the swirl and hit? I'm like swirling it. I'm pointing this right between the guiding line with a dig a little bit. Because like I said, man, you go in here digging too much and you will lose the elasticity of the seat, and I'm in no way doing that right now. And like I said, watch how on both of them, okay? Watch how on both of them, the line right here, the line guiding, I mean, you can just tell, you should be able to, from the hump here to here, so that when I go in here with my aluminum cutter, man, it's going to make it so easy to pull that in and let it layer right up to the top. And I mean, you just cannot tell other than visually that there was a seat put in this head, and that's what we're looking for. Dimension speaking, I'm going to take a snap and start at the top and go through, because what we want is an expansion rate where it's going from small, big, big, and then it wides out. In other words, we want a contour going like that coming out of it. We don't want to be big here that have to contract and then go around like a Venturi. Maybe in low RPM that might be the case, but in mid and high RPMs it's just not what it wants. But anyway, I just wanted to show you, you can see how every one of them's got about the same distance as I'm concentrating on cutting and contouring that seat. Alright, on to our next step. I'm about to run out of tape, so let me give you a shot. Notice how I'm coming with the belly side. Now I'm going to come down at an angle. Then I'm going to pull it out. And you can see the scribed line right there. See, I'm just barely coming where I'm touching it. Okay? And then I just lightly